Hi everyone. I was in the need of a steering script for a car game that I'm working on, and I wanted to showcase it here and share it in case someone else is looking for the same thing. So it's basically just two classes, one steering class and one class for each wheel. And I made a couple of examples here so that I will show how it works. And first vehicle only has two wheels, and they have the wheel script for each wheel, and the vehicle has the steering script. For the wheel scripts, there is the normal wheel collider, and you can have a checkbox for the wheel script if it is a steering wheel or not, like the other one here is not a steering wheel. And the vehicle itself, it has some objects that I will talk about later, and then it's the turn radius, so how many meters it can do a turn, and the time for it to swap from side to side. So if we hit play and take a look, and then I can use my keyboard to turn, and you can see the time is 0.1 second for the turn. I can change this one so it's slower, like that. And I can also change the maximum turn radius if it set this one back to 1, and then we say 4 meters, and then the wheel doesn't turn as much, or 10 meters and it turns very, very little. Let's set it back to 2. And it's also compatible with the new input system. So if you want to use like a joypad, you can also make an analog stick to make it just turn how much you turn on the stick. That works. So let's look at some more examples here. If I go over to number 2, this is a 3-wheeler, this one. And if I turn here, you can see it's the front wheel that turns. So it's basically the same. And number 3, it has 2 front wheels. So if I turn, then you can see the individual wheels start to the inner turn one is turning a little bit more than the outer one, which it would do on a normal vehicle as well. So it works with any kind of wheel setup. Here I attached a steering wheel. So if you look at the class here, it has the steering wheel to transform. And then when I turn the wheels, the steering wheel will also turn. The steering wheel degrees we have set here. So you can choose how many degrees the steering wheel needs to turn. So if we change it to, for instance, 90, then you can see it doesn't turn as much. If I use the joypad here, you can see, like, as I if I turn it on, quick to turn it off there. Yeah, as I turn it, it will follow, and you can choose how many degrees it should turn. There's another one, and this one is like if you have a forklift or something and you want the back wheels to turn instead. So you can make it like choose just these wheels for steering. And then 4-wheel steer, if you have all 4 wheels, like that. And here comes in, I can talk a little bit about this turn center object. If we open up here, you can see if one isn't attached, it will always generate one. And I can use this one and change its position. Just find the correct vehicle first, number 6, there. So if I turn now, this is the turn center, and I can move this one maybe back here, and you can see that the back wheels turn less and the front wheels turn more. So that will be the turning center. And right over the axles there, which is normal. For just 2-wheel, they have nothing to steer when it's right above the axle. Or you can go way front and it turns more with the back wheels than the front wheels. If you do not make an object, it will be automatically generated. But you can, of course, make one yourself and drop it in there. Okay, and more wheels. I want to make some sort of truck type. And it's the same for front wheel steering. And we have another here that has the back wheels as well for turning. So if I open this one up, you can see it has loads of wheels, and the front ones have steer on, both of them. The middle ones does not, and the rear ones have steering again. And the dynamically generated object will figure out itself that since these ones don't have steering, that's the center. Yeah, so it moves to the most convenient location based on which wheels can steer or not. And then number 9 here, we have 2 front wheel steering and the rear ones. So that's a lot of steering. And then finally number 10 here, then I just added my turn center manually. So if we open this one, it already has a turn center, which is now placed in the middle. It should probably be above this axle for it to be proper. But as you can see, it will adjust the wheels based on my manually added turn center. And this can be changed, as you see, in runtime. So if you have like a boogie that goes up and down or stuff like that, you can move both the manual one or the automatically generated one if you have that one instead. So yeah, that's basically it. There's the wheel script. It's fairly simple. It's just to have the boolean if the wheel can steer or not. And then when it receives the steer angle, it will set it for the wheel collider, and then apply the rendering for the mesh. So you probably want some more in here. This is just a simple basic functions. And then we have the steering itself. This is where all the calculations and stuff happens. This is the one for the vehicle. Lastly, we have the driving one, which just gets the inputs from the controller or the keyboard and applies it to the vehicle steer function. So yeah, was there anything else? Yeah, the steering wheel we talked about, steering wheel degrees. Yeah, that's about it. So if you need something like this, I hope you find this useful, and happy coding!